Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Evolution Greenworks. My name is Lorena Mitchell. I am your host. And evolutionaries, I have such a great tale to tell today. It's both tragic but extremely positive, and it just is an amazing story. And we're going to talk and share with Doug Barker, who actually I've known probably for about 3 or 4 years now. I would have to say it's closer to 4. And this gentleman is just absolutely my idea of a hero. And I wanted to share that with you today. I'm so excited to bring him on this show. Doug, welcome. Welcome to Evolution Greenworks. I'm so excited to have you here. You've had an incredible story. And I'm not going to say it's all tragic. I know there's been some very tragic moments, but we're going to talk about very specifically a few things about an accident that occurred for you about 2 years ago. So I just wanted to kind of lead off with, can you tell us a little bit about yourself first, and then let's talk about what happened with that accident.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me, Lorena. I really appreciate everything that you guys are doing to try and help me. I'm not used to getting help or asking for help, so I find it embarrassing almost, So I thank you. I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and everybody who's pitched in to help out, and people who have donated so far. And I have no words.
There's been about 50 people who have donated to your GoFundMe so far. It's pretty exciting to see that kind of warmth coming from people. And I know a lot of them have been sharing some personal stories with you and stuff too. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But so tell me, how did we get here though? Like 2 years ago, there was a tragic accident. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that accident?
Yeah, 2 years ago, I was basically a spinal cord injured person who was very active. Just like my previous life, I was very, very active before I got hurt. So I was heading to my daughter's farm to work on my tractor, and I took the back road to check the horses and just to let her know where they were. And we there's 2 vehicles on the road that day. It was around roughly 12 noon, maybe 11 in the morning. Uh, Plus 35 out, not a cloud in the sky, gorgeous day. And there was me and one other car on the road. It was crazy, and it's funny because I went that way because I thought I'd avoid some traffic and check the horses at the same time. But yeah, I was driving down the road doing 100 kilometers an hour, and you know how you kind of notice a car coming at you, and he starts to creep over the yellow line a little bit, and so you've got a split second to make a reaction. And so in my mind, I remember going, "Hey, buddy, get back on your side of the uh-oh." And I had 2 choices. I could hit the brakes, and he was swerving right into me. If I'd hit the brakes, we'd have likely both been dead. And so I took for the ditch, and we ended up hitting front wheel to front wheel. And he took out my steering and brakes, and I took out his steering and brakes, and we went sideways down the road. And miraculously, we had injuries, both of us, and we lived. And so that's kind of how we're here today. Is I had a very specialized van that I was driving, and I believed I was insured for a total loss up to a certain amount of money. And when I went and talked to the adjusters after I healed and whatnot, then I found out that the insurance that I thought I bought was not adequate, not even close. So that's kind of how we got here today. And I haven't driven independently since that day, August 16th, 2019.
Wow. So that's an incredible story. can you tell me, like, so you said it was a split-second decision. You went for the ditch instead of hammering on the brakes. Now, what went through your mind, like, in that moment? Like, it must have been so frustrating. And, I can't
Well,
even imagine.
what went through my mind when we hit was I remember saying to myself, don't roll," because I could feel the tires howling on the pavement as I was going sideways, and all four of them popped off the rims, and miraculously we didn't roll. And I remember the airbag going off on the passenger side of the van, and I remember putting my arm out,
Yeah.
and the airbag hit my arm, and I stopped it from hitting my little dog. She was in the passenger seat beside me,
And how
and
is your puppy today?
oh, she's fine. As soon as we were, I was laying sideways, uh,
Yeah.
hung up in the seatbelt, and my face was smashed pretty good, and she found a little spot to squeak through and gave me a little kiss
Oh,
right after it happened. It was,
oh my God. That's so sweet. It's almost reassuring, isn't it?
yeah, so I knew she was okay,
It's
but
good.
all I could feel was the heat from the engine because the doghouse had kind of ripped off a little bit, and then I could hear somebody's feet running up, and like I guess typical accident. I've never been in an accident like that before, but yeah, it was harrowing, and I thought of my mom who had passed away just a few months before,
Yeah.
and I swear I felt her presence while I was going sideways down the
Yeah.
road, and
Yeah.
it's
It really makes you think that that's it, right?
yes, but you don't know, but
No,
it was a miracle that we survived. Anyways,
absolutely.
we're here to bother people some more.
Well, you know what? You know, just to state it, I mean, the van was a total loss, as well. But I mean, what happened next was kind of interesting as well. So the 18-year-old that struck the vehicle, he was a distracted driver. He was charged by MPI, and he lost his license for a year. It is now 2 years from the accident, um, and you're still without a van because it takes that long to even get another one made. You have to find the right kind of van. Tell me about that venture.
Well, actually, if I would have been covered, it would have happened a lot sooner. Like if I was an actual MPI claim that had the vehicle modifications paid for by MPI, I probably would have been back on the road in 6 months.
Oh, so that's interesting. So is this then because you didn't become a quadriplegic from a car accident? It actually takes longer because they don't cover that.
Yeah, I was a hockey accident, so if I was an MPI claim, like an MPI accident, then MPI follows you through your life, and you know, I wish I was an MPI claim because they do modifications in the houses for you. The vehicle, you just buy the vehicle, and if it needs $80,000 worth of mods, they put $80,000 worth of mods on, and
Right.
but with
Right.
me having to pay for everything myself because a hockey accident doesn't give you any coverage, so any ongoing coverage. So it's yeah, like those are pretty tough hits to take, especially when you think
Yeah.
you're insured.
Absolutely. And I know that that was definitely the case for you.
Yes, like I said, when I insured that van, I told them everything that was in it, all the specialized equipment, and the girl who sold me the insurance suggested that I bump it from 50,000 up to 80,000 just to make
Right.
sure that it would get replaced in the event of a total loss. And when I left the insurance broker that day, I drove for, I believe it was 9 years after that, paying higher premiums. And I was not, I was covered, the 80,000 was just a suggestion. Um,
Wow.
they could depreciate it down to whatever they thought it was worth. And I thought I was going to get at least my modifications would be paid for.
So you actually have to go get a third party, um, insurance then to cover the van in the event of an accident, because MPI really doesn't have a solution for people with modified vans.
I believe that's the case now. Like I said, I haven't even went and insured a
Well,
specialized
no,
van since
you don't
then.
have a new one now yet, right? So,
That's be
well,
what
I
I
mean, you have the van though. You have the van, so you're on the way. You're
yes.
partially there now, and there's a place in BC willing to modify the van. So we have kind of that down.
The place
Um,
the place in BC does the 4-wheel drive part of it for the farm, and the most of the modifications will be done here in Manitoba. There's a couple of companies that do them here, the electronics and whatnot.
Great.
Yes.
So let's talk about what you already are using. You have a highly modified tractor, and you are a farmer.
Yes.
Why don't you even just talk about what were you doing today in the bush?
Well, we're fencing today. I have two young kids that come out and work on my daughter's farm, and I'm their little foreman, I guess you'd call me. And yeah, she was in the house with the kids all day. I didn't even see her, and we fenced about over just over half a mile today. So
Wow.
yeah, so I take them and I string out the I've got things on my tractor that hold the barbed wire, and we pull it out, and we took down some fence today too, and it was like we work anytime we can, but there's days obviously when there's no work to do on the farm, and because it's a hobby farm, it's not like a big production, right?
Commercial. Yeah, exactly. Yep. You do
Yeah.
goats. It's a
Well,
goat farm.
we've got some goats. We're getting into goats, so we've just cleared some bush and we're doing some big goat pastures, is what we're doing.
Nice.
So yeah, and we've got 6 horses. My daughter has a horse boarding business, so we do that. And I drill all the post holes. I plow the snow. I clean the manure. I do the fencing.
I,
I just level
absolutely. I
take
was
the
floored. One time I pulled into your place and I'm like, where's Doug? And he's up on the tractor clearing snow. I
yeah
remember that.
35 below, and I'm up there at midnight plowing snow so that my home care workers can get in the morning. So
I
I'm
know.
not afraid to work. I'm not afraid of hard
No.
work. There's never going to be quit in me. So the
You're the
injury is,
most positive person I know, really, Doug.
thank you, but um, the listen, the injury is hard and it slows me down, and
Yep.
it's hard. But you know what? Um, it's also a test, and hopefully I'm gonna pass the test and just I'll quit when it's time to quit. And I
I hear ya.
what else to say really? I live my life day to day, and I just look for the next project, the next thing to do. I don't look back on what happened. Um, the only reason I'm looking back right now is because I can't jump in my van and go. I used to be
Yes.
able to go out, hit a couple buttons on my
Well,
wheelchair,
we are
and
here to raise awareness and get you going.
I certainly appreciate it. Like I said, I have no words. You guys are the kindest people in the world. Really.
Well, I wanted to talk a little bit of when I met you, because you are an electrician as well. And that was pretty interesting because I met you by phone first, and then I came out and did your site visit. And I was just thinking how amazing you are. So, um, when the crew came in to actually install, we walked through every step of the way with you so that you would understand and learn everything about solar. And then you went on to install your own solar system at your RV up in the Narrows. You want to talk about your system?
Yeah, well, like I said, we put in enough solar there to completely run the RV, just shy of air conditioning. But we pull a generator for that, and we eventually want to upgrade a couple more panels, a couple more batteries, so we're completely green. I'm very thirsty for knowledge on when it comes to solar, and I must say, when I first met you, the reason I spoke to 2 or 3 different companies, and when I spoke with you, you made me feel stupid when it came to electrical, and I'm
No.
oh yeah, absolutely. So I'm like, okay, this is the girl I'm going with. I said, "This is the one I'm going with," because you were so knowledgeable that it just blew me out of the water, and I knew the second I hung up the phone, you had the contract to do the house. So
Oh, that's so nice. Thank you. Well,
that
I've
was
really enjoyed working with you, and that's the way I view it. I'm working with you. Uh, we've been working on like how does this go, batteries, solar, how to design it, how to calculate for it. And you are always so thirsty for knowledge, and I love that about you. You want to learn more and more and more, which is absolutely fantastic. When you had your last house, you were almost net zero there, weren't you?
just about yes. We were only maybe 3 4 kilowatts from net zero. But
And
yeah, and like I say, as far as the lake goes,
yeah.
we're almost net zero there. We run everything off solar except the air conditioner, and the air conditioner we have on 3 or 4 days a year. So it just didn't seem like worth it to upgrade to that at this point. But
Yeah.
we may, but because I want to get completely off grid in every facet, of what we have. But time over time, I think these things cost money too, right? So and with my disability, I haven't I probably the 29 years that I've been hurt, I it's went up about $150. So, and I'm not complaining, but I just have to save more. That's all.
Oh,
And this and
absolutely.
this and this hit with the van really really set us back. So that's
Absolutely.
it's
I
just
can't think
crazy.
of a more positive and deserving family than you. Really excited to be doing the GoFundMe with SanFan, which is Rosalie Stelmack over at SanFan, which is a non-for-profit, pay it forward organization. Her and I have worked on projects in the past, and I've always been excited to help her out. And this time I actually brought the project to her. So it was the first time I've actually stepped forward with a project that I felt worthy. And I truly, from the bottom of my heart, feel that this project is absolutely worried. Getting Doug moving. That's it. Getting it on the road, getting you back to where you were prior to the accident, which I think is really, really important here. One of the things I would like to talk about too is what are the plans? You have a new ATM. You just moved. Ready to move, right? I got it right. ATM, right? Okay. I'm dyslexic, so just saying.
Okay,
Sometimes I backwards that.
a modular home.
A
Yep.
modular home, yes. But you did some upgrades with that modular home. And can you tell me why and what you did?
Yeah, well, we upgraded the outside walls to 2 by 8 because we wanted to be more energy efficient. I put a pellet stove in for now because it's at this point it's better than um, you know um, I think than paying these big electrical bills, and plus it's very little work. We're not cutting trees down. We're using sawdust that's already been used, which have been recycled into pellets. So no new trees are coming down for what we're doing, and so we're still thinking green, and that's important to us. So upgraded insulation, pellet stove, and just a little bit better windows and doors and we backed off on things like drywall and that. So because we're not people that care about what things look like in particular, we're more people that care about the environment and being a little more green.
Yeah, you guys have been really long into the environmental aspect. I mean, as farmers as well as homeowners, you've been environmental stewards where you could be. With the new home being the 2 by 8, allowing for that extra insulation and LED lighting and all of these things you do to reduce your energy, that carbon footprint. And it also makes it better later to be able to go off grid too, right? So like or grid tie with like in a net zero situation.
It absolutely won't take as much solar
No.
to do the job.
And you did all your own electrical out there. I actually when I came over a couple weeks ago, he had all his own guys. He had his backboards up, and he had all his electrical laid out, so it was all like right there. And ran his own cable and stuff. So it's pretty amazing, actually, to see that you're still putting your electrical skills to use.
Yes, it certainly beats having to pay someone to do it. And like I said, I think we trenched in 500 feet of tech cable, and we came off a 400 amp splitter for a panel in the back, yard lights, and things like that. So, and like I said, I worked really hard to get my license. So there's no way I'm ever giving it up. I'm proud of it, and it still makes me feel like I'm part of the electrical brotherhood, the team.
Absolutely. Well, I'd be your apprentice.
Yeah, I try to make the guys that work with me. So,
Yeah.
so we have a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Well, I can see that. You've always got such a good humor and a very positive attitude, which is always super nice. Oh, I see Puppy in the background just walking by the door there. We are actually going to break. We've got a couple of sponsor videos to show. And then when we come back, I want to talk a little bit about before. I mean, before the other accident, too. We'll talk about how that happened, but I want to talk about the Doug the electrician, Doug the hockey player, Doug the mentor, because you have so many. It's like you've lived a bunch of lives, really. It's pretty incredible the kinds of things that you've done with your life. So we're going to take a minute with the sponsor videos, and then I'll bring you back after the sponsor video.
Why go solar? Solar is better than ever. Our revolutionary design and inverter equipment with the latest in solar panel technology for the ultimate in-home and business security. That's right, I said security. Grid security and security of your home are linked. Fortify your future today with a battery backup system. No maintenance, quiet running. Did you know in Manitoba, grid-connected, off-grid, and battery backup systems are 100% right off in the year you purchase for any company or farm? Do you want to back up your internet, keep your tills running, and the lights on? We can install a system that is right for you with battery backup fully capable of taking on all those essential loads and keeping you running. When you call our experts at Evolve Green, ask about getting your free energy audit today. Call or email today to find out what system works best for you. 1-866-5EVOLVE or support@evolvegreen.ca. Also, be sure to check out our website at www.evolvegreen.ca.
Welcome back, evolutionaries. I have one more sponsor that I want to just actually lead into this little video clip. They're going to be getting us a little bit longer clip to tell us more about themselves, but AETI is actually learning renewables. This company will teach you from word go. Are you already an electrician? Are you somebody who wants to be a solar professional? You need to go see the folks over at AETI. Formerly, they owned SICK, which was Solar Installers Canada, and now it's gone into more of the professional realm. So if you also want to learn how to sell it and design it and do all of those things, you want to talk to the people over at AETI. And welcome back, evolutionaries. So before the break, we were talking to Doug about what happened with this last accident and why we're doing a GoFundMe for Doug and who he is and all about his environmental adventures. But before all of that happened, when he was a younger man, Doug actually had the big accident, which actually caused him to become a quadriplegic. Very scarily so. But he did a lot of stuff with his life before that accident too. So I wanted to talk to Doug about that a little bit. Hi, Doug. How are you? Welcome back after the sponsor videos. I know it takes a little while. I wanted to talk to you about your mentoring for your hockey. Like, did you start playing hockey like in high school? Like, when did that all begin? Let's start at the beginning.
I started playing hockey when I was 5 years old.
Wow, true Canadian boy.
Absolutely, yeah. So
Nice.
the thing to do. I remember, being in the little shops, the outdoor rinks. I didn't play in an indoor rink until we moved to Toulon when I was 12 years old. So it was all outdoor rinks. I remember my dad rubbing my feet between periods because they were so cold. But I'd give anything to feel those cold feet again. You know,
Yeah, absolutely,
crazy.
absolutely.
Yeah, no, I played hockey right up into a pretty high level. High for me. It's a long way to go before you get pro, but I played up to junior A and some junior B, and then I played after my junior career was over. I played with my hometown Toulon Tigers. I was with them for about 11 years, and in the last few years, I was the captain of the team, and yeah,
So you were
we
the captain of the Toulon Tigers.
I was, yes.
Wow.
Yeah, and like you said, back when I was a younger man. But
Yeah, absolutely.
it was funny because um, we were the only team to win the South Interlake Hockey League trophy as a Toulon team. So that we're very proud of that accomplishment. And the year I got hurt, it was a little bit of irony because my kids were just starting to get to the point where they need me. And I not only played hockey, but I coached hockey. I coached kids who weren't my own that were I coached they were 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 years old. I coached them about 5 years. But I just told the guys on the my senior team, the South Interlake hockey team, that that would be my last year, and I was gonna hang up the skates and maybe just play some rec hockey after that. That my kids were at an age where they were gonna need me more. And yeah, I didn't quite make it through the year. I only made it halfway through, and that's when I had the accident. But
So
no,
this
that
was your last year of hockey as well.
was going to be my last year of organized hockey, where full contact and
Right.
the real deal, right? So I was going to go like just into recreational
How
hockey.
old are you then?
I was 28.
28 years old.
Yeah, and I had
Wow.
a
So
full life
young.
prior to the accident. Like I hunted, I fished, I camped. We took the kids camping all the time, my wife and I, and we, like I said, I golfed, I played baseball, I coached hockey, I played hockey. I was working 4 jobs at the time of my accident. I was working at the Toulon Hunter Memorial Hospital as a maintenance, and I got that through being an electrician. I had my own company, Debarker Electric, which was fledgling, but it was a couple years in, so I was getting that off the ground, and that was going to be my goal. Was I was going to have my own company, and then I was going to run about 50 head of cattle on the side. So and yeah, and I drove grain truck for a local farmer. I drove tandem gravel truck for a local company here called Ellison's Cartage. And yeah, honestly, my wife joked. She says, I kind of like you a little bit better in the wheelchair. At least I know where you are. And we
Yeah.
about that, right? And
It's almost a typical Manitoba family when you think about it. We're all like kind of doing several things just to keep afloat here, right?
absolutely,
Um, it has to do with our weather. It has to do with a lot of things. But they build us pretty tough and durable in the respect that we always are on the lookout with how to just keep things going, right?
you betcha.
Keep
You bet.
the meat on the table and family
Yeah,
fed and
yeah. So no, it was like I said, it was a wonderful full life, and like any of you walking around today, I didn't think it could ever happen to me. I see somebody in a wheelchair, and I would look at them and I would truly feel bad for them, and but I had no idea what they were going through, and then how could I, right? And this one day, um, flick of a switch and head first into the boards, spinal cord injury and your life changes. It's like turning a light switch off. That's how quick.
it may be like turning a switch off. But here's the thing. You have taken that and made something from that. You didn't say, I'm going to do nothing and lay back and just feel sorry for yourself. And I'm sure there was a little bit of that maybe at first, but you fought hard to have and hold on to the independence you do have. And you work on the farm. You still, you may have people doing it with their hands, but you're right there instructing them. You're always involved, and that's what's amazing. And I think that's really tough for a lot of people, right? With spinal cord injury or brain injury or any of those kind of really serious injuries, to kind of pick yourself up and where do you go from here? I still live kind of thing, you know?
You know what? It was like you said. One switch went off on one life, and the other a switch went on a different type of life. Same life, but
Absolutely.
just different type. And it's really funny. This was a turning point for me. I was at rehab after I got hurt. I was the doctors didn't know how to fix me. They didn't have they didn't have any way to stabilize my neck. It was broke so bad. So a doctor ended up coming up from the states, and he fixed my neck and put in a different certain cage that would stabilize it. And of course, I'm really feeling sorry for myself. So I went outside of rehab, and I got pushed outside of rehab by one of the healthcare aides. And I said, yeah, I just want to sit outside for a while. It was spring day. I think it was in late March. And I'm sitting there, 28 years old, feeling sorry for myself. And this little girl went by me in a wheelchair. And I looked at her, and she's laughing, big smile on her face.
Oh,
Obvious to me that she had not walked a day in her entire life. And that was the turning point for me. I looked at her and I said, "You big idiot. Like, you're sitting here feeling sorry for yourself, and you walked for 28 years. This
yep,
poor little child has not taken a step in her life, and you're feeling sorry for yourself."
yep,
So from that day, I decided that I was going to work out. I was told I would never drive, and I got my buddy to rip a steering wheel out of a wrecker and hook it up to my workbench at home. And it took me a year to get just over the top with it. And once I got over the top, I must have spun that thing 100,000 times with both hands to get strong enough to drive. I went back to rehab engineering, and I said I'd like to take the test for the driving again. And they said, Doug, you tried it before and you couldn't do it. And I said, just humor me. They said, well, we got to get OTs in here, we got to get physiotherapists, we got to get this and that in here. And and I said, no, please, just give me a chance. So this was about a year and a half later, and I went in and I blew the dynamometer off the chart, and then they're like, "Wow, like, we can't believe how strong you got." And they said, "Okay, well, we're gonna have to design hand controls for you." And so they did, and there's a board in there that goes in their vans called the Barker board, and it's used to put in hand controls for people that are in a situation like me, that the regular hand controls maybe don't quite work for them, and these ones really do. So it's enabled a lot of people after me to drive as well.
that's incredible. So there's a whole hand control Barker board out there that was designed for you, but also you helped develop it then, right, too?
Yeah, and when they had a rehab engineering convention, this was in the early mid '90s. They actually showcased these hand controls and the Barker board and whatnot. It runs your signals, it runs your horn, your cruise control, all the things you need, that you can't normally use in a regular vehicle that's not outfitted. And at one time, this was all done just through rehab engineering, and if you but times have changed, and they're very expensive now to get these things put in. Rehab engineering is charging for what they're doing. The government has, I'm not going to say gutted rehab engineering. I don't want to sound like it's like I don't want to be mean about it, but the program isn't what it used to be, and they privatized a lot of the things for these specialty bands. And what used to cost $600 is like $7,000-8,000 now.
Yeah.
You know, there's a special thing that gets hooked up and you puts the van and you push on the brake and then puts it in park, reverse, neutral, drive. Just that one item alone, I had it quoted on me. This was over a year ago now, before COVID made the price of everything go up, and it was over 17,000 for that one item. One item.
17,000.
Yeah, just to put your van in gear.
Wow.
So, like, how can regular, and if I was an MPI claim, that's all installed. It's all done.
Yeah.
No questions asked. You're on the road. So again, through no fault of my own, in the accident. And again, I do not blame the kid. The kid who hit me. I was a kid once. The mistakes I made, Lorena. You wouldn't believe the mistakes I made, right? So I don't.
All
know,
of us.
I do not
It's
blame
called growing up.
the kid who hit me one lick. You know what I mean? I'm just so
Yeah.
glad that he's okay and that he's going to live hopefully a long, healthy life. And
Absolutely.
so I just want to make sure that people that have these specialized vehicles know what they're getting when they go in to
Right.
register them, because um, I was just I'm hooped. I just can't afford it.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's just incredible. I mean, your wife is also a nurse and she's had to put off retirement for about 4 years.
Yeah, I'd say
So I know that's been very
before.
hard on your family.
Yeah, it is. You have plans for retirement, and you do everything right. You work hard, and in spite of the injury. Like, I've never quit. Right from '93 on, we've tried to save money for retirement. We've tried to do this, that, and the other thing, so that when the time comes, that we'll be able to at least afford our bills. We're trying to go greener, so we don't have to pay a big hydro bill, and
Absolutely.
so, like, all kinds of things, right? And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden you get slammed with something that's just out of left field. Yeah, it
Yeah.
sets you back. And again,
It does.
I don't want to feel sorry for myself. And again, I wasn't going out and asking people.
No, that's what we're here for.
It would have taken years and years to save up. And
I have to say, for anybody that might confuse this, I'm the one who approached Doug. I approached him and I said, "You deserve this. You deserve this. You're absolutely my hero. You're such a positive person. You're such a positive force. You mentored hockey for years, for young kids even. You've done so much good in your life, and you employ young people in your neighborhood to be your hands too, while overseeing projects. So there's, youth employment going on. There's so much to you, Doug. And you've always given to your community, and it's time that we now give back to you. So that's what we're here for. You have had an incredible journey, and this only is the tip of everything that's happened. But we wanted to talk about your environmental aspects, your electrical aspects, your farming aspects, what happened to you, and why it's so important for you to get mobile again. I want to thank you so much for coming on the show today, Doug, and we're going to give you guys an update, just saying we'll let you know what happens, but we have had over 50 individuals who've given from their heart on the GoFundMe. I'm going to also put the links wherever this show is posted, so you don't have to worry about necessarily catching it on the ticker on the bottom here. I want to thank our sponsors, AETI.com, for learning all of your people who want to go out there and be a professional in renewable energy. They are your people, AETI.com. And I'm going to also have that in the list below. Doug, thank you for being with us today. And I was really, really happy to have you.
well, thanks.
Bye.
I appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Well, that's it for today's show. I just want to say go to the GoFundMe listed below. It'll be also in the descriptions for the show. Every little bit counts, but if you can't afford to give, hey, that's okay too. All I ask is, can you share for me? I really would appreciate it. Let other people know Doug's story, and follow us on Facebook at SanFan at our Pay It Forward sites. We'll also put links for that as well, and all other projects that are up and coming with lots of deserving individuals who have done incredible things with their lives as well. Again, Doug, this is to get him mobile and get him the specialized equipment so he can get back on the road and serving his community and back to farming and all the other wonderful things that he does with his life. And we'll see you next time for episode 22. That's it for now. And oh my goodness, you know how it goes here. I can't find it. That happened last time. Here we go.